Good evening, everyone. It's 5 o'clock Eastern Time, which means it's time for Pettit's Puck Talk. Welcome to episode 32, back from spring break. Boys are ready to go.
Should be a good epi.
Yeah, real good one. We got a lot of news here. Playoffs coming up soon and everything. But real quick, before we get into it, I just want to plug Radford, Radio Free Radford on social media. You can follow them on Twitter at Radio Free Raddy and Instagram and Facebook at Radio Free Radford. So Raddy spelled Raddy for Twitter. The other ones are just Radio Free Radford. They make this possible, so trying to give them some shout outs. But let's get right into it. First up on the list here, we got a note of sadness. I just want to get this out of the way. I don't like talking about sad stuff, so let's just get this out of the way. Evander Kane, last weekend, he announced on Twitter that he and his wife lost their unborn baby at 26 weeks old. Kane has been out since February 6th without an injury, so some speculation. Everybody thinks that this was the reason why he was out. They kind of knew he was headed south. But yeah, I don't really have much more to say about it.
Yeah, I had not heard about this at all.
Yeah, I just heard about it last week. I was watching the Sharks game and I heard about it, and they said he wasn't playing, so that's why, I guess.
That's rough.
Yeah. But yeah, that's enough of the sadness. Let's get into some better upbeat stories here. Quinn Hughes has signed his entry-level contract. He signed an entry-level 3-year contract with the Vancouver Canucks the day after Michigan, his college team, was knocked out of the Big Ten tournament.
Hate to see it.
You really do, but that's good for him. He was drafted 7th overall by Vancouver in 2018, so, about a year after he was drafted, he's getting his chance.
Is he playing this year?
I know he's with the team, but I'm pretty sure he has a foot injury right now, so he hasn't played yet, but he's with the team. I know that much, so I'm sure they're trying to get him
they've
in
been
the
doing some
lineup.
nasty draft picking lately.
Yeah.
A few years at power play, Besser, Pedersen, and Hughes.
Oh, they got a lot of young talent.
Yeah.
Dude. And, they're kind of far out of a playoff spot right now. It's not impossible for them to get there, but they'll have to string together some wins for sure.
Yeah.
But,
Ottawa needs to take some notes.
Yeah. But yeah, I'd say in a couple of years this team is one you need to watch out for. But pretty good numbers, 33 points, 5 goals, and 28 assists in 32 games this season, and 62 total points over 2 seasons with Michigan. He was also a member of the U.S. national team at the World Junior Championships in 2018 where they won silver, and 2019 where they earned the bronze. So I saw him this year play. I don't remember seeing him in 2018, but he was solid, by far the best defenseman on that team.
Oh, I didn't know he was a defenseman.
Yeah,
I'm trying to check
his brother is
names.
the forward. You might be getting him
Yeah.
confused with the brother. But, Jack Hughes next.
Is he going to go this year or next year? I heard he was thinking about playing another year.
That's the thing. I don't know. There's a lot of speculation around that, whether or not he wants to hold out and develop a little more, or whether he wants to just declare this year. So
he should wait to see what the lottery does.
Yeah.
Can he wait that long?
I don't know, because I don't see why not. Because all you do with the lottery is see who's gonna get the first pick and stuff.
Yeah.
You don't have to declare until June when the actual draft comes up, I would think.
He could easily go to Colorado because they have Ottawa's pick.
Yeah, that'd be kind of nasty.
Yeah.
But I think, isn't that pick contingent on how they do, whether they make the playoffs or not? Isn't it like a conditional pick? Like if they make the playoffs?
I don't think so. If Colorado
it's just
does,
a straight up first?
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. Do you know what round it is?
Round or year?
Position? Is it top 10 or?
It's just Ottawa's first round pick this year.
So whatever Ottawa gets, they get that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I was confused there, but yeah. So keep your eye out for Quinn Hughes. I think he's going to be really good around the league. Some are comparing him to Bobby Orr, but I don't know if that's
a little harsh.
Yeah, that's something to be said about that. Moving into our next story, we got a little women's hockey to cover here.
Oh, that's what that was?
Yeah. Coming from NWHL.com, which is the National Women's Hockey League. The Minnesota Whitecaps of the NWHL beat the Buffalo Beauts to win the Isobel Cup in their inaugural season. So it was the Whitecaps' first season, and they won the Cup. It would have been like if Vegas won it last year.
Yeah, just like that.
Yeah. That's basically their Stanley Cup. So I don't know who any of these players are, but trying to get them some publicity out there for all the 10 listeners we got. Lee Steckline of the Whitecaps scored 49 seconds into overtime to beat the Beauts by a score of 2-1. So it sounds like it was an interesting game, for as interesting as women's hockey can get.
Yeah, should have watched it.
I'll tune in next time on however you even watch that.
Reddit.
Yeah, really. Fun fact, though, this was the 10th consecutive sellout at Tria Rink, which is where the Whitecaps play. So 10th consecutive sellout. I think they only do single game eliminations for playoffs. So
that's pretty solid.
Yeah. I think the rink, it's not like an NHL size rink, but still, you got people that are interested at least.
Yeah.
I think with this and the girls that were at the NHL skills competition, I think women's hockey will get more publicity because
yeah, get more women into the game too.
Yeah,
seeing that there's like actual routes you can go, like there's no end to it.
I just wish they could fight.
Yeah,
and hit.
Hitting.
It should be just like men's hockey. I think that would get a lot more people interested. But
yeah,
I guess the one on the bright side, the fact that they can't hit, it adds more skill to it.
Yeah,
more handwork and stuff like that. But yeah, I saw that info and I know I had to share because that's pretty big news coming out of the hockey world.
Yeah.
Moving on to our next story and something we were just talking about. The NHL has announced that the 2019 Draft Lottery will take place on Tuesday, April 9th in Toronto. You can watch it on NBC Sports Network, TSN, or TVA Sports starting at 8 p.m. Eastern, depending on what your provider is.
Who's looking at this pick right now?
I would think the top three are Ottawa, Detroit, and New Jersey, because they're like the only three that have been eliminated from.
LA's got to be up there too, right?
LA is next to be eliminated. They got 58 points, and the only reason they haven't been eliminated is because the West is so spread.
Yeah. But like Hughes and Capo are like the two big ones, right?
Yeah. I don't know who you're going to see go first. Obviously, if Hughes doesn't declare, it's going to be Capo, but yeah. I think it's a toss-up between these two.
Yeah, and I just saw on Instagram that Capo has the most goals in the Finnish Elite League by a U18 player.
Really?
Yeah, 22.
That's insane, dude.
So, obviously he's a different player than Line, but yeah, he's obviously nasty too.
A lot of good talent coming out of Finland recently. They're getting good at producing young talent. But yeah, I know we watched the Draft Lottery last year. You were there, right? When we were at the house. And it was cool because like Vegas was in it that year too. So
yeah,
I think they just got guaranteed the third round pick or the third pick though, didn't they? Wasn't it, or was it sixth and then third in all the following rounds?
I think it's guaranteed sixth.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't know. It's like watching bingo kinda, but it's like way more interesting than that because they draw
less old people.
Yeah, they pull the balls out of the like spin thing or whatever. I don't even know what it's called. And then it's sweet to see like what team comes out.
See if DraftKings has any specials.
Yeah, that'd be shout out DraftKings. We'll take ad reads. But yeah, so tune into that again, April 9th on NBC Sports Network, TSN, or TVA Sports, depending on your provider. Moving on to our next story. The Calgary Flames have clinched their playoff spot. They clinched a spot in the 2019 Stanley Cup playoffs after the Minnesota Wild lost 3-2 in overtime to the New York Islanders on Sunday. And in doing so, they became the first team from the Western Conference to clinch, and they joined Tampa Bay as the only teams in the NHL with a playoff berth this far.
They're kind of a wagon.
I think so, too. I was reading online, they got like 3 players with over 30 goals, and Gaudreau, Monahan, and Kachuk, I believe, are the 3.
Kachuk has 30 this year?
Yeah, he has like 32. What? The kid's put up like 70-some odd points, dude.
I did not know he was that nasty.
He's kind of having like a quiet, pretty solid season.
Yeah. Dude, they can make a run.
I would love to see him make a run, dude, because, I mean, as I have here next, the last time they were in was 2017, and they were swept by Anaheim in the first round, so.
Goes to show how long time's been.
Yeah.
Corey Perry with 3 goals this year.
Yeah. But, yeah, it'd be great to see them do something. I know, was it last year there was only one Canadian team in the playoffs?
Yeah.
Toronto, that was it, right?
Winnipeg was
Winnipeg,
like
too.
Only those two.
Yeah, so that's, I mean, I like to see the Canadian teams in there after all. It is a Canadian sport, so.
Yeah. And the fans are always nuts. Like, those atmospheres are always crazy in the playoffs.
I mean, Vancouver rioted when they lost the cup, like, which always made more sense to me. Why do teams riot when they win the cup?
I don't know. DC did it right, so you're talking to the wrong guy.
Well, I'm saying, like, I don't get. Hey, our city just won a championship. Let's go burn and break everything out in the city right now. Let's go flip cars.
Who did that?
That happens everywhere, like especially soccer. I know you watch.
Soccer. Yeah. We love our hooligans.
Yeah, but I mean, to me, it makes way more sense to go riot when your team blows it, like Vancouver.
Yeah, Vancouver did it right.
When Luongo couldn't stop a beach ball. Shout out Luongo.
Shout out Lucic for being relevant back then.
For real. Well, it's not his fault. He plays on Edmonton now, so
it's kind of his fault.
But another note, Calgary's qualified for the playoffs 3 out of the past 5 seasons, so I'm really pulling for them to do good. I also saw that they're thinking of those alternates they wear from like the 70s.
Yeah.
They're thinking about making those. Well, I've heard for playoffs they're wearing those at every home game.
That's nasty.
And then I've also heard that they're thinking about making them the full-time home uniforms like come next season.
They should.
Yeah,
those are so sick.
Yeah, I like those. I'm a big fan of those jerseys. But transitioning into our next story and a pretty relative topic, given that yesterday was St. Patrick's Day. I want to talk about Brad Marchand's Conor McGregor impersonation. So, for those of you who don't know, because you live under a rock or whatever.
With Patrick Star.
Conor McGregor dropped the puck at the opening ceremony at TD Gardens on Saturday.
Did you, I don't know if you're about to say this, what he said to Chara?
What, when he was like, good
Push
luck?
him. No, yeah.
So I'll let you tell that. Go ahead and tell that.
All right, well, we're going to have to get the censor ready, but.
Don't just.
No, I know, yeah. So. McGregor drops the puck. Chara and who are they playing?
Columbus. It was Boone Jenner at the face-off with Chara.
Okay, yeah, the guy's irrelevant. No wonder I didn't remember him.
Exactly.
So he drops the puck, shakes both their hands, and then after he says good luck to Jenner, he turns back to Chara and says push him into the net with a few other extra words in there, and then he goes fist bumps the whole Bruins bench.
Yeah, a few little choice words. And I don't know if he doesn't know that you're supposed to shake their hands after the puck drop. I don't think he shook their hands. I think he just dropped it and he was like, all right.
Cursed at one of them left.
Yeah, for real. But
I don't know, kind of like Marchand a little more now.
Oh, I'm a huge fan. I actually started following him on Instagram.
Worth the follow.
Golden account, dude. Golden account. But McGregor also gave a pregame speech in the Bruins locker room, and
oh yeah, I saw a little bit of that.
He was stepping all over their logo and everything, but it was who's gonna say anything to McGregor?
Yeah,
that dude would knock
what's he
you
gonna
out.
do? Break your phone?
Yeah, and then he was like, "Who's the enforcer in here?" And nobody really said anything, and he was like, "You're all enforcers tonight." It was funny, but Boston went on to win the game in overtime, and who other than Brad Marchand to score the OT game-winning goal. And he saluted McGregor by using the loose wrist walk. I don't know what else you would call it, but
the Bernie?
The strut. Yeah, kind of like the Bernie. Kind of like the Bernie. He just kind of struts.
Throwing it back to 6th grade.
And, that was... he had to have had that planned. There's no way he scored.
Yeah, you can't just wheel that kind of move.
He definitely was like, all right, if I get the game winner, I'm pulling it. I'm doing it.
Yeah.
So, Selly of the Year?
Yeah.
Yeah. I would think the only one that even competes with that was when Ristolainen hit the stick twirl.
Yeah, or Patrick Kane when they played the Maple Leafs when he hit him back with the ear.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was a little Selly battle, but that was a really really cool Selly from Marchand, and I kind of like him a little more after that. Still a rat though. Going into our next story, did you see the Pittsburgh game last night?
No,
dude. First off, Philly won, but it was a good game. But the craziest thing, I've never seen anything like this that happened in the second period. So I think it was 5 minutes into the period, and Philly scored on the power play. And the refs on the ice originally called it no goal because I think it was Van Riemsdyk cutting across the crease, and his body hit Matt Murray's butt end, and it moved his stick out of the way, so the puck just slid right through his 5-hole. And after they called it no goal, Philly challenged it, saying that there was no goalie interference. So they go to Toronto.
Can you do that?
Yeah, I didn't know you could, but apparently you can. So they review it in Toronto or whatever. They end up saying it was Jack Johnson's stick that pushed his blocker out of the way that made his stick move. Murray, I'm talking about. So then they overturn it, say we have a good goal on the ice. Pittsburgh challenges for an offside on the play, and I think Philly knew it was coming because they showed the replay and Voracek's off by probably a half foot, a foot. And they go to Toronto, and sure enough, they overturn it again, no goal.
That's nuts.
Goes back to 0-0. So I've never seen a double challenge in a game.
Yeah.
And I was just sitting there with Fleetwood, and we were like, dude, this is wild. I don't know if that's ever happened before.
Dude, probably not, because now they have a new challenge for each row every year.
Exactly. But either way, I was happy because it was 0-0 still, and it was just wild to see that. So I had to share. But yeah, unfortunately, Philly went on to win. They tied up. It's 1-0. They tied up with 18 seconds left in the game, dude. It's like the winner, the Stadium Series all over again. Wearing the same jerseys too. We were. I don't know why.
Oh yeah, I heard you guys got a little bit of backlash for that.
Yeah, those jerseys are cursed, dude. And then it goes to overtime, dude. Van Riemsdyk scored, or I think it was Van Riemsdyk. It was either Van Riemsdyk or Voracek. Scores with 3 seconds left in overtime, dude. I was livid. But that's enough of that. I'm just going to get down talking about it. So let's go into our next story. The Washington Capitals have signed Joe Snively to a 2-year entry-level contract. I know a lot of you guys probably don't know this guy, but I used to play hockey with him back in my heyday. You know, back when I was wheeling and dealing as a little chunker. But yeah, he went to Yale. He's finishing up his last season right now. His contract's going to start next season. But pretty impressive numbers coming out of Yale for Snively. 36 points, 15 goals, and 21 assists in 33 games this season. And over his 4 years of attendance, he's got 139 points, 58 goals, and 81 assists in 129 games played. So he averages well over a point a game, pretty much.
Sounds nasty.
But, I mean, he's been nasty for as long as I've known him, or known of him anyways.
When did you guys play together?
My Pee-wee years, it was a while ago.
Yeah.
But, I mean, even back then, he was buzzing. He was just like a little water bug. He's always been like an undersized player, but I've never seen anybody avoid body checks like this kid. Like, I know they don't body check in Pee-wee anymore because of concussions or whatever. But like a kid would try to rock him against the boards. It was double his size, and he would literally just like he would duck under the hit, dude.
Pull a little Ty Kistler.
Yeah, like he would just duck under the hit. It was nuts. I'd never seen anything like it. But I mean, the kid could wheel, the kid could snipe, good playmaker. So,
Did y'all know he was going places?
I mean, I knew he was like had talent. I never saw NHL. Like kind of talent though. I mean, I'm sure he's progressed a lot since we've played. I mean, that was like 12 years ago almost. 10 years ago at least probably. But that's just cool to see. You know, I like to see guys that I used to play with like making it, you know. I already talked about Kyle Rhodes, but before on this show he's in the ECHL and an AHL contract, so that's the first one I've seen like go with an NHL contract. So
and he gets to play with the boyhood team.
Yeah. Actually, I forgot to mention that he's a Herndon, Virginia native, so I'm sure you guys figured. You know,
where is that? Sounds like
it's in Nova.
Oh.
He had a fat house, dude. His parents are like anesthesiologists or something.
Yeah, I was reading like his dad is an eye doctor shop in Vienna or something.
Yeah, eye doctors. There's some kind of doctor. They had a fat house, dude. And you know, if you got a fat house in Nova, you got money because Nova's expensive, dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, congrats to Joe Snively. You know, we're gonna try to get him for an interview. Reach out on the Facebook Messenger app, and also Facebook Messenger. We're welcome to ad reads from you guys too. So, anyways, moving into our last story here before some milestones and injuries. I want to take a look at the current playoff picture because it's kind of interesting.
Huge fan of this new.
Yeah. So if the playoffs were to start today, in the Eastern Conference, you would have Tampa Bay versus Columbus.
Columbus just wasted all that.
no
They're getting
doubt.
Swept.
Boston versus Toronto, New York Islanders versus Carolina, and Washington versus Pittsburgh in the first round as opposed to the second round. So, outside looking in, you got Montreal with 81 points. They're behind Pittsburgh by 6, I guess. And you got Philadelphia with 78 points, who's behind Pittsburgh by, 9?
Yeah.
So, completely eliminated from the Eastern Conference. You got New Jersey, Detroit, and Ottawa. So, no surprises there besides New Jersey, kind of. I thought they'd be a little better than that, I guess, with Taylor Hall out for half the season.
Yeah.
Ideal.
I mean, realistically, these matchups could happen, though.
Oh, yeah. I mean, what is the team here with the most amount of games is probably like 8 or 9 games left, so...
Yeah, and like you said, like 3-4 games out for like Montreal, so this could really happen.
Yeah.
Which of these matchups you looking at the most? I mean, obviously Pitt and Washington, first round for once.
I think that's one that everybody would look at the most, but I also like Boston versus Toronto because that's a rematch of last year. Was that the second round last year, or was that the first round?
I think that was the first round.
And I think you know, Toronto got eliminated pretty easily. It was like a 4-1 series, right? And I don't know. I think they got more in the tank this year, although they have been pretty bad as of recent. But yeah, I think Washington and Pitt and Boston and Toronto would be my favorites from this. I think New York versus Carolina would be a good one too.
Yeah,
but
I mean, I was gonna say if the favorites win from these 4 matchups, you'd have 4 wagons in the second round.
Yeah,
just teeing off against each other.
Yeah, that'd be kind of awesome. I don't know. What about you?
I don't know. I like the Islanders of Carolina just because the Islanders, like, they're nasty, but their roster's not as stacked as you would think for how well they're doing. So I think it'd end up being an actual good series. I mean, Boston-Toronto's kind of, like, it'd be a sick matchup just because, like, both teams are so much more nasty than they were last year, but it's also kind of old. Just
Original
like Pitt.
6, yeah.
Well, like not even, but like they played last year, so it's kind of boring to see like
I
the
see what
same
you're
teams
saying.
playing over and over again.
I thought you were saying like these two teams have just seen each other a lot.
Yeah, that too. But like in Washington and Pitt, the only reason I wouldn't complain about this is because it's the first round for once.
Yeah, but I mean, see on the opposite side of that though, like. Not so much Pitt this year. They haven't been as dominant as they have been in past years, but like usually those are two teams that like neither one should be out the first round, you know?
Yeah, but at the
Like-
same time, like you just said, like Washington's not what they were last year. Pittsburgh's not what they were a couple years ago.
Yeah.
So
It's kind of weird to see that happen, but
Yeah.
that's just part of the game. That's enough time talking about actually one more thing I wanted to add. Carolina, if they go to the playoffs, it ends the longest playoff drought in the NHL currently. Like they have the longest current NHL
Was it
playoff drought. I think it's like
15.
it's something
They-
like I think the last year they went to the playoffs was like
They won it in
07,
06.
08.
Yeah, so they won it in 06. Probably made it the next year.
Actually, I think it was 08, 09 because I think the Penguins beat them in the conference finals to go against Detroit. I can't remember. That was so long ago, but I just know that they have the longest current drought for playoffs right now in the league, which is kind of crazy.
And they're a wagon this year.
Yeah, they're good. Another team that doesn't have Aho's nasty and Teravainen's pretty sick, but after that you don't really have like a ton of superstars. It's kind of crazy
Yeah.
that they're doing so well.
They got Mr. Game 7.
This is true.
One last thing.
Go ahead.
Love to see him knock out the Islanders in the first round.
Who wouldn't, dude? That'd be
Brooklyn,
awesome.
that dump of a city, dump of an organization.
Dump
Have
of a-
Barzal go to Toronto too, just get a reaction out of those Muppets.
Moving into the Western Conference playoff picture. So if the playoffs started today, you would have Calgary versus Arizona, San Jose versus Vegas, Winnipeg versus Dallas, and Nashville versus St. Louis. Outside looking in, you got Minnesota with 77 points, Colorado with 74 points, Chicago with 73 points, who is on a heater right now, by the way. And then less likely to make it, but still not completely knocked out, are Edmonton with 71 and Vancouver with 70. Nobody's yet been mathematically eliminated, but it's nearly impossible for LA to make it with 58 points and Anaheim with 69. So
Yeah.
nice, by the way.
Looking at these matchups, the only one that's like not sick is like Winnipeg and Dallas. Like, but besides that, all of those other three, it's gonna be so sick to see.
Yeah, I just think Winnipeg would handle Dallas. You know, I don't even
Yeah.
think it'd be.
Like I'd say 5 games done.
Yeah, if it even, I could see a sweep in that series potentially. I mean, Ben Bishop's injured right now. So I don't know when he's going to be back, but they'd have to rely on Hudobin, and I mean, I don't know if he's a playoff goalie. I don't know if Bishop's a playoff goalie. But
Nashville, St. Louis. St. Louis keeps up how they've been playing.
wait, what did you say? I just gotta. I got some inside information here from Eddie Pettit. The Tampa Bay Lightning must win 8 out of their last 10 games to break the 1995-96 Detroit Red Wings record for points.
How many would that give them? Like 200?
What are they at right now?
Mathematically possible.
NHL.com/standings. So right now they're at 114 points. So if they win 8, that's 16. That's 130 points.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
You think they'll do it?
I mean, it's possible. They're on a 4-game win streak right now.
So they'd have to win 12 of their last 13 altogether.
I think something like that. Yeah.
That's nuts.
Yeah. When you do the math like that. Here's the thing I'm excited for is Wednesday night when you guys play them again, because that game was so chippy last time you guys played.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch that on Wednesday night
it's
for
gonna
sure.
be a good one.
But so thanks for that little piece of intel, Eddie Pettit. Shout out. But Western Conference, who are you most? Also, I'd like to say I hope Arizona stays, dude. If Arizona can get a playoff spot, I will be
Playing Calgary.
That's who I'm rooting for from the West.
Both
Like,
fans.
Yeah,
That'd be a sick series to watch.
that's who I'm rooting for from the West. If Arizona goes, they got my vote.
San Jose, Vegas. That'd be a shootout.
Yeah, first round too.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we're looking at some potential sick first round matchups
Yeah.
here with like how it is today.
But like also with the West, like all the favorites when you're looking at a stacked Final Four for that conference. Too.
Yeah. But yeah, I'd really like to see Chicago make it. I'm really surprised at how big of a drop off Colorado had. I mean, we kind of knew at the beginning of the season they only had that one line, but
Yeah.
I really thought they'd have a little better depth in what they do. So again, I'd like to see Chicago make it, but we'll see. They got a lot of work to do before they get there. You got anything else to add before we move on?
How far Dallas is the last seed?
I believe so.
How many points are they at right now?
They're at. Actually, Arizona's the last seed at 78 points. So, like, Chicago, Colorado, Minnesota, very possible for them.
Yeah, especially Minnesota only 1 point out. I'd love to see Arizona make it, but I like Minnesota's team too.
But I just feel like every time Minnesota gets to the playoffs, they don't do anything. Like, they've got to be the most average team in playoffs.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Them and Arizona have actually been trading back and forth that last card spot and the just.
Do they play each other?
I'm not sure. Let me look at the. Let me go to Arizona's schedule. So let's see here. That'd be awesome if they do. Arizona plays the Lightning tonight, Florida Thursday, New Jersey Saturday, Islanders Sunday. Chicago Tuesday. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Colorado Friday. Yeah, they do. Sunday, March 31st. So like that's gonna be a huge game.
Yeah.
That is their fourth to last
What
game.
day of the week is that on?
Sunday.
Oh.
But yeah. So I hope I really hope Arizona holds on to that playoff spot, and that's really all I got to say about that.
Sundays are turned into one for the boys.
Moving into milestones, we got a couple here. Evgeny Malkin has earned his 1,000th point, becoming, I believe, the 88th player in NHL history to do that. Carey Price passed Jacques Laplante, why did I say Laplante? Jacques Planty on the Montreal all-time wins list for goaltenders. And Connor McDavid has hit his 100th point for the third season in a row. So,
I mean, he only missed rookie year because injury.
Brandon
right?
Manning, who's now in the AHL, who's now been scratched for the last 8 games or something like that. Isn't that wild?
I heard about that. They're still paying him $2.5 million a year.
I was like, dude, I'm done. You can turn me over because I'm done. Moving into injuries, some key names here for some key teams. We got Torrey Krug of Boston. He's day-to-day with an upper body. Sean Monahan of Calgary is day-to-day with an illness, so I'm sure he'll be back relatively soon.
Probably got bronchitis from John.
No doubt. Nick Foligno is day-to-day for personal reasons. I don't know what that is. That's probably family-related. Evgeny Malkin is day-to-day with an undisclosed injury, which I'm pretty sure is upper body from the St. Louis game over the weekend.
Foligno just had the Sunday scares.
Probably. Sunday scares. And Marc-Andre Fleury of the Vegas Golden Knights is day-to-day with a lower body injury, so that's key for them heading into playoffs.
Yeah.
I know Subban's been holding up the weight, but you definitely want Fleury back heading into the playoffs. Moving into our last segment here, who's hot and who's not. In the hot segment, we got Chicago on a 5-game winning streak, 6-4-0 over their last 10, and Tampa Bay on a 4-game winning streak, 8-2-0 over their last 10. So, one team in playoffs, one team trying to make that push to get into playoffs. Hopefully Chicago can keep it up. I'd like to see them in the playoffs again because they're a good team. They got the lineup to do it. Moving into the not so hot, we got one team here. Shouldn't surprise anybody.
The Detroit Red Wings. Shout out Porterfield.
As bad as I wish that was true, it isn't. It's actually the New York Rangers on a 3-game losing streak, 1-5-4 over their last 10.
Can't be surprised though. They dumped off their whole team.
Yeah, I mean Kay, Zuccarello, all they got's a Lundqvist basically.
Yeah.
Zibanejad. So yeah, no names really sticking out there. To me, anyways. Besides Detroit not being on the list, I would have expected to see that. Shout out Porterfield. But
hey Porterfield.
Yeah, good episode today though.
Yeah,
real good episode. We hope you guys enjoyed, and thanks for tuning in, all 10 of you. Maybe lost some there in the middle, got bored. I don't know. 9 or 8 now.
Went to get a snack. Change the laundry.
But yeah, tune back in next Monday. Catch us here at the same time. Episode 33, episode Patrick Waugh coming at you.
Ooh.
So yeah,
go goalie. Unpopular opinion.
We'll have some good stuff for you. So thanks for listening.